Hi, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your August 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Sagittarius fire signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you, although sometimes these messages do get very specific. But what I do find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Sagittarius signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do, as it really helps the channel out. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then get notified when the next videos are up. So Sagittarius, let's jump in. I'm feeling a lot of thinking going on here, and I feel like there's some really big questions coming up for many of you around what direction your life is going in. You know, what are your next steps? And it's this real sense for me of, you know, looking at who or what do you put your energy into moving forwards and how much? And with your overall energies, we have the Sun, which is a card of success and happiness and a real kind of openness to life. And this is a card of, you know, this really raw creative potential. And what lies in your recent past is the Moon. And for me, this represents either what some of you are still in right now, or something that you're just beginning to kind of make your way out of, you know, feeling like things are unclear, not really finding, you know, the answers, let's say, in a way that, you know, is tangible. And of course, with the energies of the Moon, you know, this really is a call to tap into your intuition at this time and use that to really navigate your situation or navigate your next steps forward. Now, the Moon also can represent things which are hidden, deception sometimes. And with your current situation, we have the Seven of Swords. I was just feeling that. I was like really feeling that energy beginning to come through. And there with the Seven of Swords, this is all about, you know, things being hidden, deception, sneaking around, things going on behind your back. And it's very much a card that comes up when, particularly in the connections that we have or a relationship that you might be in, that there are trust issues. And with your feelings towards your situation is the Knight of Swords. And I feel for many of you, the moment has come perhaps to speak a truth of some sort, to take some kind of action that involves communication. Because the Knight of Swords, you know, swords represent our mental landscape. It's information, it's communication. And the Knight of Swords represents sometimes, you know, somebody coming into your life or leaving your life very quickly, but in quite a destructive way. And what lies in your challenge is the Queen of Swords, and she is all about speaking your truth. So the intention is there with this Knight of Swords that there's some sort of challenge in actually doing that, speaking up, expressing your truth. And it's also a card that very much comes in at a time where we need to cut through illusions to get to the truth of something. And what I'm feeling when I look at these cards, when I feel into them, is for some of you this may relate to a project, you know, something that you were working on. So it relates to the career part of your life. But there is this feeling of betrayal somehow that I'm picking up on. Of, you know, something going on behind your back. And it can be that this is something that you have, you know, invested time and energy into, but you haven't received the same back from it. And not only that, I feel this energy of, you know, deals being done behind your back, you know, things being orchestrated, which has somehow left you short in some way. And what lies in your hidden influence here is the Six of Wands, and this is a card of recognition and being, you know, recognized in some way, you know, whether that is in career, a certain role that you're in, or something that you have, you know, invested your time and energy into. This is a card of being recognized for, you know, what you have brought. And for some of you, this may be a person that you've been connected with, or maybe still are connected with this person. And this moon here represents a really unclear situation as to perhaps where you stand with this person. And what you're needing from them is for the connection to be honored and recognized in some way. And I feel like some of you are dealing with someone who is maybe not being honest in some way. Because I feel, you know, I feel these things kind of going on in the background, not being honest. Now, for some of you, that could involve betrayal. And for others, you may be dealing with someone who is perhaps not expressing their true feelings here. I feel like maybe you might be on different pages. You're ready perhaps for something more long-term and committed, and perhaps your person is just not quite there yet. But they're not expressing it, they're not saying it. And with your advice from the universe, we have this Three of Swords, and this is a card very often of heartbreak, of emotional sadness, pain. It's a card of loss sometimes. But it's also to remember that whenever there is an ending, you know, there is always a new beginning. And whatever sadness or wounds these might be, there is also an opportunity for healing and moving forwards to something better. I'm just going to feel into your person's energy here with this Seven of Swords, so I keep getting drawn back to it. And I do feel for many of you there may be some dishonesty going here in terms of perhaps entertaining other connections in some way. Doesn't always have to be that is on a physical level. It may be something that's happening online is what I'm seeing. You know, entertaining, chatting with other people, other possibilities, connections. I feel like I'm tuning into someone who is kind of keeping their options open in some way, and so they're not fully all in with you. And this is why there is this Six of Wands here, this need to kind of know where you stand with this person. But what I'm really feeling here, Sagittarius, is sometimes we don't get all the answers necessarily. So for some of you, this is some kind of career betrayal or something that's fallen through with some kind of shadowy stuff in the background there. And for others, this is a person that you're connected with. But either way, I kind of come back to what I originally said around, you know, these big questions coming up right now in terms of, you know, where is your life going? What's next? Where do you go from here? What do you put your energy into? Who do you put your energy into? And sometimes the recognition that we are seeking on the outside in that job, in that opportunity that perhaps fell through, or the connection that you're in, sometimes we have to find this for ourselves. And this is why we have the Queen of Swords here, because it is about being true to your heart here, Sagittarius, and speaking a truth, no matter what, and honouring and recognising your true feelings and your needs in all of this, even if it is indeed the ending of something. Because if it is, it was never meant to stay. It was just a lesson for you to step into your worth and your value and really honour your needs here. And so the potential outcome, I love this, we had the Magician, and this is a really powerful card of manifesting, creation, just letting you know that you have everything that you need moving forwards to create, you know, whatever you want to create in your life. You have everything that you need to do that. And it's really, really important, you know, with the Queen of Swords in the challenge position and the Magician here, that you work through any fears or insecurities around standing in your truth in this situation, so that you don't bring those in to what you manifest moving forwards. So Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.